We're going to head over now to Katie. Of course, we have our reporters out in the field, and we have our analysts in-house tonight, Clancy, DuBos, and Ron Faucheux. How are you guys?
Yeah, we're so lucky to have you both, as we are every election night. WWL Louisiana political pollster Ron Faucheux, and of course WWL Louisiana political analyst Clancy DuBos. You both are experts in this. What are you thinking as we begin this election night, which could begin an election week even?
Probably an election week, at least till the weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, votes are still going to be coming in. So in any state where the vote is closed, which is not Louisiana, they might not know till Friday or Saturday.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy considering how, hot tempers are flaring about this out there.
Yeah. One thing I think that's interesting about this election, and it relates, of course, directly to Louisiana, is not how Mike Johnson's doing in his district, but how he's doing his fellow Republicans are doing across the country, as we spoke about before. If the Republicans don't hold the House seat, then Louisiana will no longer have the Speaker. It will no longer have the House Majority Leader. They would then become minority leaders if they are reelected by their caucus. So that would greatly affect the dynamics of Louisiana dealing with the federal government. And then, of course, whether it's Harris or Trump who wins the presidency, that affects it. So Louisiana's relationship with Congress, with the White House, could be about to see some radical changes.
Have we seen some significant benefits from that in your eyes, Clancy?
I think we've seen some, but I think Mike Johnson, the Speaker, has been focused on national issues and Trump issues. Scalise does what he can, has always done well for the district in terms of, being an ombudsman for people who have a problem dealing with Social Security or a passport or something like that, which is what all congressmen do. But he also has been a real advocate for people in need of help with FEMA. His office has people who really understand that issue, and I think he's got at least one person who is full-time doing nothing but dealing with FEMA issues on behalf of constituents and local governments that are trying to get the hurricane relief aid going as far back as Ida and even all the way back to Katrina. Some people are fighting FEMA because they want to claw back money. FEMA just never seems to not be an issue. And his office is one that's very important in that regard. Something
that is big and new tonight is our new congressional district in District 6. It is the district that was carved out because of Louisiana's population and the need to have 2 majority black districts because of our population numbers. We don't know if this is going to stick. Can you guys talk a little bit about that? Whitney hinted at it during her live shot because that district is still somewhat up in the air. So what does this mean moving forward?
Well, it might be up in the air legally, but it's not up in the air politically. I think Cleo Fields is going to win that seat. He may well win it tonight, and that would not be a surprise to either Ron or me. But what is interesting is in order to create that district, they took away some precincts in Baton Rouge that had been in Carter's district. So Carter's district is not so much on the bubble, but it is not as heavily majority black as the new district that was drawn for Fields. Both of them are majority African American, but it's not like, Carter's used to be 62 or 63% African American and 61 or 62% Democrat. Now it's more like 53% African American, which is a majority, but it's not a lot of breathing room.
Okay, well, we'll have to watch it pretty closely tonight.
Yes,
I know you've got some numbers pulled up on a map over there. We're going to get some analysis on that in just a minute. But Ron, what do you think about the fact that this is still in the courts, and what does the legal aspect of this mean?
Well, the legal aspect is always difficult in these reapportionment cases. You have a U.S. Supreme Court ultimately that would tend to look at this and not favor maybe having the seat changed the way it was changed. So it really it really puts it up in the air, and it has a big effect on the state again, as we were talking about. If the Republicans lose control of the House and you have a Democratic president and a Democratic House, then it's going to be up to Carter, and assuming Cleo Fields wins, to give Louisiana its clout in Congress.
Okay, well, that's going to be really interesting.
In addition to the 2 Republican senators.
Yeah, for sure. And, Cleo Fields is somebody who's no stranger to politics. He ran for governor back in the 90s. I mean, he's really been a fixture.
He's a former member of Congress, so he has been, been there before.
This is not
Yeah.
his first rodeo, so to
No,
speak.
no.
So that, I think, is one of the reasons why you
Sure.
both feel like he's easily going to win tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he seems to have the political support lined up and among both, not just among Democrats, but also some Republicans.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll have to wait and see that.